Good morning, commissioners. Welcome, and over to you, Chair Harrington, as soon as we have Commissioner Treese.
Oh, well. Chair Harrington, looks like it's just you and I today this morning.
Well, unfortunately, we can't start without a quorum, so
Oh,
I was under the impression that Commissioner Willie would be back today from his weekend trip away. Clerk Moss, am I wrong about that?
I am not aware of Commissioner Willie. I thought he was going to also be out for today as well.
Okay. And we know that Commissioner Rogers is traveling for work this week.
Correct.
So I'm not sure where Commissioner Treese is at the moment. Perhaps Megan McKibben might be able to help us with that.
Yes, she is on it, checking with her right now.
the pressure is on, Megan. Where's your commissioner? Well, while we wait, Diane, the tour was wonderful. A great time.
Thank you.
The team did a fabulous job planning everything to the T.
I will pass that on to them.
Switching my contacts for glasses this week. Eye problem. But I do have one on, so kind of interesting.
So I just got an update. Commissioner Treese is having trouble logging in. So let's give it a few more minutes. All right, Chair Harrington, Commissioner Treese is joining right now.
My beige sweater disappears in this background. I look like I have no shoulders. Technology is giving Commissioner Treese fits today. Welcome, you have conquered technology. Yep, no worries. There you go. Okay, well, good morning, everyone. And let's begin our Tuesday, June 7th, 2022 Washington County Board of Commissioners work session. This is Chair Catherine Harrington, and I'm joined today by Commissioners Nafisa Fye and Pam Treese. Commissioners Roy Rogers is away on business for Washington County today, traveling am participating in meetings in Washington, D.C. with our congressional delegation and administrative heads on transportation as part of a regional trip. And Commissioner Willie is away today for a personal long weekend. So we'll dive right into our work session agenda with starting off with board communications. Commissioner Fye, would you like to go first?
Yes, absolutely. But I think I see Commissioner Treese is unmuted. Would you want to? Okay.
Nafisa, please go ahead. I'm a little discombobulated, but I'm getting there. My
Don't worry.
apologies.
Go. I'm including myself having technology problems this morning as well. But yes, thank you, Chair Harrington. I'll start off and welcome Commissioner Treese. Last week, or was that last week? Yeah. I attended Helping Hands Reentry Outreach Center's presentation at the Rotary Club. We've heard from a gentleman named Alan Evans who founded this organization, and I know it was a really good conversation. He had a really powerful story to share about his journey and how he got to sort of turn the tables and help where he's been helped and now helping others. Commissioner Rogers and I met with folks with 350 Washington County and Sunrise representative from the group Sunrise Beaverton and others to sort of continue the conversations that we've been having among the Board of Washington County Commissioners and Chair Harrington around climate preparedness. I had also last week my District 1 town halls, the monthly town halls that Brenda and I do for the residents. And, this usually it's been sort of like along the lines of concerns and questions. But this town hall was quite interesting and primarily a lot of questions around vacant lots and specifically vacant commercial buildings. So there's a lot of questions that we fielded that we wrote it down and tracking down the answers to that. We had our roundtable last week as well. We had a lot of budget meetings, and I'm proud to say that, as much as we're having really robust conversations about Washington County budgets, it's been really good and smooth and trying new path around budgeting, and really excited how we implemented our budget tools, equity tools. And then I was just sharing with Diane how amazing the Upper Watershed tour was and how I really enjoyed, and it was really educational, especially a newly elected commissioner. And I did share with Mark that even though I was on the Clean Water Services Advisory Commission, I have not yet had the opportunity to participate in this tour. So it was wonderful. So thank you. And the team really did well. And I learned a lot. Washington County, we have a lot of greenery that I don't know if the rest of this, that are well maintained and well taken care of. And I don't know if the rest of the state knows. So I have a lot to be more proud and more prouder for our county. And then to continue the conversation with the folks around Sunrise, Beaverton, and 350 Washington County and tree protections, Commissioner Treese, myself, and the team led by Tanya Angie with our county administrator had a really good conversation, quick conversation, but it was really great, and have a great understanding of how we can align what the community wants and where Washington County is going. So great. And then I'm getting a lot of various briefings on topics with our staff. And so that's my updates, and I'll stop right there and turn it to the next person.
Go ahead, Commissioner Treese.
Thank you, Commissioner Fye, and you covered several things for me, which I appreciate. I also attended the luncheon on the homeless issue in Hillsborough. I agree with Commissioner Fye. It was a very interesting and compelling presentation. The Upper Watershed Tour with Clean Water Services, the three commissioners that are on this call were all in attendance, and it was so cool. I mean, it's like you say, Nafisa, it's wonderful to see our landscape, to be in our landscape. And Diane, I want to express my appreciation to your staff for sharing that with us. It was so educational, but also so beautiful at the same time. So thank you for that. The budget meetings, my hat is off to our staff for the work that they've done in preparing the budget, preparing us, and frankly the way that we have gone through this so smoothly. We've had maybe little glitches with schedules, but all in all, it's really been very powerful. And I also second Commissioner Fai's comments about the use of our new tools, our equity tools, and how important that is to me and my values. It's important to the entire community in Washington County. So thank you for all your work there. I did attend a meeting last week on the West Side Multimodal Improvement. It was the West Side Multimodal Improvement Study Steering Committee meeting. Now that's a mouthful. And it was the first meeting of this group that's convened by ODOT. And it was kind of more of a table setting meeting where we were establishing our purpose, process, charter, issues, and needs going forward. So we're going to be looking at the transportation issues and opportunities to improve multimodal options, improve congestion, improve freight mobility on the West Side Corridor. I do want to raise the issue that currently I don't have an alternate on this committee, and there are 5 meetings lasting until 2023. I'm planning on attending all of those, but at the same time, I know that Commissioner Willie is the alternate to Commissioner Fai on a sister committee, Transportation Committee, and I'm just raising the issue that we probably should have somebody as an alternate to me on this committee. So we don't have to do it right now, but I'm raising that issue.
Does the committee allow for that?
Oh, yes.
And the geographic scope for this study is what compared to the other ones?
It's really the northern end of the county, from all the way from where we meet Multnomah County out 26. It's really that 26 corridor. So
so encompasses all of my district.
Exactly. Well, your district encompasses all of us.
Right.
So, and if you'd like to be alternate, I'm happy to do that. But I just don't want to put a burden on anybody to attend all the meetings. I don't think you need to do that, but to be aware of what the issues are would be great.
I'd be happy to.
Okay, so we'll send that off to Stephen Roberts and Chris Staffelbot to make sure that we've got that on the book, so to speak.
Yeah.
This week or yesterday, I met with Hans Bernard from Nike. He is the new government relations person that is not taking Julia Brim-Edwards' role, but is working with Melissa Valancourt on issues within our area. So it was nice to talk to him, get to know him. I appreciated it. Yesterday, along with the chair, I attended the swearing-in ceremony at the sheriff's office, and that's always such a wonderful experience. I enjoy it. It's really impactful for me, and it's always a great reminder that our sheriffs, our deputies, they come to those jobs with their entire family, and you see that in action. And also Tanya was there, and I really appreciate the fact that we were there to support. It's very important. Today I'm going to the Coalition of Communities of Color 20th anniversary celebration. I believe the chair is going, and I believe Commissioner Fai is going as well. So that's going to be a joyful experience. I'm looking forward to that. I'm also meeting this week with Tony DeFalco from the Latino Network, and I have an Impact Coordinating Committee meeting. So that's my schedule. And thank you for your tolerance in my IT issues this morning.
Oh, no worries. We all have them from time to time. Not a problem.
It's amazing the panic that sets in. I think all of us experience that. It's just like, oh,
Yep,
so anyway,
yep. When
here's to a
things
good
go
meeting.
smoothly, it's great, but when there are hiccups, it's like, oh no. We are reminded of our reliance upon technology. So thank you. I'll go next. It has, even though we had a roundtable last week, this is our first full work session. So I've got a couple of weeks of activities to report on. Back on May 25th, with the WEA Board of Directors, there was an update on the executive director search, but just some report outs. We got a couple of quick updates from TriMet. So for TriMet, transit service is back to 60% level, which is good. Highways are reported to be within 3% of pre-pandemic levels. So I thought those two data points might be interesting with regard to the experience of congestion that some people are remarking about, and why we continue to move forward with the multiple transportation studies that are underway to look to evaluate what the needs are and what options we might pursue for helping meet the needs of our community, and making the most of the transportation finance resources we have today and those we might pursue into the future. So I know each of you are serving on different transportation committees, so thank you once again for the countless number of meetings, documents, and discussions that you're all involved with. Here in the month of June, there will be a combined there will be a WEA transportation committee that features that ODOT Metro Washington County multimodal transportation project, that on the committee that you're serving on. And they remarked that the study is chaired by ODOT and the Metro president, President Lynn Peterson. Also related to WEA, last Friday, after that really excellent watershed tour that I'll come back to, I participated in a WEA organized meeting with Senator Merkley's Washington, D.C. Chief of Staff, Mike Zamore. I had met with him in my prior elected role when I was a Metro councilor. It's not that often that he has the opportunity to come out to Washington County specifically. As we know, Senator Merkley covers the whole state, and the senators, well, both of our senators are terrific in having town halls across each of our 36 counties. The two main topics that I was present for were workforce training and finding solutions to address the needs for childcare, as the lack of support and finance for affordable childcare is an economic, has a negative economic impact to our thriving economy here, not only in Oregon, but across our nation. On the workforce training aspect, I want to give a shout out to, oh, Pam, Commissioner Treese, help me. The gentleman who is the, no, well, certainly Andrew, but for the WEA member, who's the lobbyist for Tualatin Valley Water District, Norm Eater. Thank you. It took me a minute to remember. Norm really reminded the assembled group, mostly economic development folks, how vital Work Systems Inc. is for us here in our area, especially for Washington County. It's a partnership with Washington County and Multnomah County as governments, but also with the private sector. And so as folks were articulating needs for further workforce development, he really stepped in to remind folks that they really should be partnering with WSI to get those needs met, because it is a means for leveraging multiple financial sources very, very effectively. And I will join my colleagues in thanking you, Ms. Taniguchi Dennis, and your team members for that great inaugural trip of the Tualatin Upper Watershed. You know, I've lived in Washington County for 32 years, and I've seen pictures of the Upper Watershed, but my really day-to-day experience, or my majority experience, almost exclusive experience with the Tualatin River, is the slower flowing, large floodplain, mostly flattish river experience. And what the tour offered us was getting to see the upper reaches of the river, really from the area north of Gaston, and seeing that there are multiple waterfalls, Lee Falls, Haynes Falls, and seeing the flows that occur, as well as visiting multiple major facilities here in Washington County. So thank you. It was a great tour. It was such a unique experience and was really just marvelously done. And I can see how valuable it will be for our city council partners to have the opportunity, and maybe certainly the Tualatin Valley Water District Board, the TVWD board as well. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I had a great meeting with Mayor Pete Truax, and later this month on the 23rd, we'll have the monthly chair mayors meeting. Thank you, Commissioner Trees, for mentioning the Communities of Color event tonight. Great anniversary celebration. Also this week is the Balm Grove Dam decommissioning event. So it's kind of for lack of a better phrase, a fun thing for me to see. This came up while I was a Metro counselor, so it's been a long time solution that has been under pursuit for removing yet another barrier to fish passage and good ecological water flow here in Washington County. I also wanted to mention next week on Wednesday, the 15th, I will be traveling to Hermiston to attend the AOC Legislative Committee retreat. So last year, the event was canceled due to Umatilla County leading our counties in the Delta variant that really swept us all through the summer. So I look forward to getting to see my AOC colleagues in person for the first time in years, since I was not able, unlike some of you, to attend the AOC conference last November. So thank you for always making sure that amongst us, Washington County is well represented. So I know it's only June 7th, but it feels like the month of June is flying by already. As you mentioned, the budget committee meetings that we had last week, we'll have our final budget adoption later this month as well. So, I just wanted to inquire on I am finding there are some emails and briefing memos that I continue to catch up with. Right, and I was reminded of another thing. I was just wondering on the tree protection side of things, is there a briefing memo I need to come up to speed on, or is that something that we'll be coming back to with for example, the LUT work plan? Does anybody know or have guidance for me?
I'm not aware of a memo. I
Okay.
do believe that is a work plan discussion item.
Okay.
When we get to the work plan, and I just received a message from Stephen Roberts. There's nothing right now, and that work session is on July 26th.
Okay, great. So I'm not behind.
No, you're ahead. So congratulations.
Sometimes I feel I'm behind, even though I'm not. Which also reminded me to mention that Commissioner Treese and I yesterday sent unfortunately a long overdue email on my part anyway, to our colleagues who have been working on the Preschool for All Washington County pre-referral. You might recall that in early April, we had a board discussion about how the programmatic work had completed, and there was a newly assembled group pulled together to continue to work on a proposal to work towards putting on the ballot for the voters. We have an understanding here within county government that there is further work that would need to be done to construct a framework for a pre-referral. For example, the proposal involves using a first ever income tax, which is something that would require new infrastructure for tax collections. Then there would be the infrastructure for supporting all the new contracts that would be needed for such an effort, as well as oversight needs. And so we talked amongst the five of us to see if there was support for giving direction to the county administrator to assess what expertise would be needed from our staff to scope that out. The determination at that juncture was that there was not support at the time for directing the CAO to do that work. So we made sure to share that with the Preschool for All principals. And so the reason why I'm bringing it up again is because we have been getting testimony in board meetings. I believe that is going to continue. There have been a lot of phone calls that have been placed and a lot of inquiries. So it may be a topic that when we have the five of us back again, which would be looking at my calendar of all the different travels, we should have a complement of five of us only once this month, and that would be next Tuesday, June 14th. Because beyond that, we have at least one commissioner out until July 12th. So it is the summer season. Thank you everyone for taking vacations and getting some time away from work to re-energize. Anyway, don't mean to take further time. Let's check in with our leadership, or does anyone have any questions or comments based upon what the board communication has been? Nope. Okay. So take it away, Ms. Angie.
Thank you, Chair Harrington and Board of Commissioners. Staff has begun announcing the board's second quarterly town hall of the year, which, as a reminder, that is scheduled for Thursday, June 23rd at 6 p.m. For the viewing public's benefit, participants will learn about services geared toward older adults from subject matter experts in Washington County Disability, Aging, and Veteran Services. There will be, following the presentation, there will, community members, participants will have the opportunity to ask questions and share their perspectives with your board. So I know staff look forward to the town halls, and especially being able to highlight important service areas and have community conversation around those services that our community depends on. So thank you for that. I did participate this last week in my first National Association of County Administrators board meeting, which was a great opportunity to continue to stretch and grow my professional network. Part of that board meeting was planning for the upcoming NACO, the National Association of Counties conference in Adams County, Colorado. At the conference, there is a track specifically for county administrators. So we are working on putting those sessions together. Thank you to the board's participation through the budget process. I do just want to once again just acknowledge the budget is a living, breathing policy document, but what's really great about the process this year is increasing inclusion in that process through translation services and ensuring that the materials at those budget committees are translated in Spanish and available to our community members, not just in preparation for the meetings, but they're standing on our website too. So community can have access to that information at any point in time. And yesterday was our first convening of city managers with our housing staff to have ongoing communications, coordination, and collaboration in a very focused manner to serve our houseless community members and to support the supportive housing services program. We did use a facilitator for the conversation, and it was a robust 90 minutes. And all participants agreed that it would be great from a staff perspective to have these meetings every other month so that we can stay in close cooperation and collaboration and just sharing what each community needs are as we serve our houseless community members. And that concludes my weekly update.
Could I ask you a couple questions on that? So, so it sounds like the city managers and housing staff will continue to meet, you know, I don't know if it'll be monthly or every other month, but moving forward. In between those meetings, at least from what I've seen from our staff, have assumed and seen some evidence that housing staff from multiple jurisdictions can and do communicate and get together. So that's happening in addition to this city manager level engagement that you're describing, right?
You're absolutely correct. And we are trying to put clear systems of communication in place because communication is happening very frequently. And it may be between the county and a city, but to do that in a larger group so that we're all sharing the same information is the goal, so that we, through partnership, are executing these dollars to the.
Yep, it's the larger shared journey. Great. Continuing on with the theme of supporting our houseless community, as Commissioner Fye mentioned, she and Commissioner Treese attended that Hillsborough Rotary presentation from with Helping Hands. So it's a means of reminding me, it's my understanding that our Washington County housing team department has strategic direction from us as adopted in plans that the board has adopted to pursue the full range of service suite styles. So I'm assuming that they will continue to practice the art of the possible, whether it's working with property owners or service agencies or interested groups who want to sponsor tent villages, safe sleep villages, shelter buildings on their property, or even a suite such as a private group such as the Helping Hands Solution in Multnomah County. Am I correct in that assessment?
You're
Or is there
absolutely,
something more I need to understand?
no, you're absolutely correct. And there's really nothing else I need to add to that because you walked through the full suite. And as a reminder, I believe early next week, we will have a memo on alternative shelters, follow up to the board request from Commissioner Fye relative to tiny homes. So we are exploring all options and we look forward to partners, community members coming forward with ideas and solutions as well. Commissioner Treese?
Thank you. I just also wanted to let you all know that Commissioner Willie had invited or made this opportunity available. He also included Jess Larson, who sat in. So that was really helpful to me to have Jess there to be able to give us content and context for how it fits into potentially to the county. So just FYI.
That's great. That's great. Okay. Well, this discussion was also very helpful for me because for the last 6 weeks, we were all very much doing a deep dive in budgets, right? Both Clean Water Services budgets and Washington County budgets. So it's good to have all of that, the major work done there. We still have, a little bit of work to actually adopt the final budget. So great. Thank you, Ms. Angie. I appreciate it.
Oh, there was one other, just mention, I have shared with cities at their request for our flag procedures. Other communities are looking at not only the Pride flag, but also Juneteenth. So that has been shared as a resource. And this is the first year, in addition of celebration in the month of June of raising the Pride flag, we will also be raising on June 13th the Juneteenth flag. So we are looking forward to the board members that are able to participate with their schedules in that event.
Great, thank you. How about you, Mr. Carr?
Morning, Chair Harrington. I have a couple of very brief items. The tobacco industry still seems to be unhappy with the board's passage of Ordinance 878. As you may recall, the lawsuit brought by Mr. Polanowski to challenge the election was dismissed. We received a notice of appeal yesterday, so that will now go to the Court of Appeals, which was somewhat surprising, but we will, as you expect, vigorously defend that lawsuit. We also have had word that there's a case called Schwartz against Washington County, which challenges the ordinance itself on preemption grounds. We were planning to move to dismiss that. We told them that about a month and a half ago. Yesterday, the plaintiff's lawyers, yesterday we learned that they're planning to move for a temporary restraining order preventing enforcement. We will again defend that. But you must be doing something right if you've gotten the tobacco industry so interested in fighting what you're doing. So we will continue our work. John Mansfield is leading the effort there and doing an excellent job, and he will continue to do that. That's the end of my report. Thank you.
Well, I think while the election season results are not yet certified, it looks like the voters of Washington County have also stood with us to say that protecting our youth and other community members from getting hooked on nicotine is an important thing to do. So thank you for
Sure.
dealing with all of those legal efforts towards that end.
Chair Harrington, I believe the number was 76%, which is remarkable for any initiative. So I think the community is standing with you, and we will, of course, continue our work. Thank you.
And thank you again, Commissioner Fry. All right, Ms. Taniguchi Dennis, Clean Water Services.
Thank you, Chair Harrington, and good morning, Board of Clean Water Services. I just wanted to add that the team very much appreciates the time that you spent with them on the elected officials Upper Watershed Tour. You know, we're so fortunate in our region to have such a beautiful source water for the Tualatin River. And I'll pass on your thanks to the team about their work to connect people in our region to this very precious gift of water that we have that's worthy of protection. So we're also getting feedback from the participants to make sure that our learning experience created the experience that was needed. The team, as you announced, Chair, is very much looking forward to the Tualatin River Watershed Council and the CWS hosting of the community open house on Thursday from 4 to 6 in preparation for the removal of the Balm Grove Dam, and the entire board is invited to that event. I also wanted for a minute to showcase for the board the work that Ken Williamson, Blythe Layton, and Scott Mansell did in partnership with the researchers at Oregon Health Sciences University on the intersection of human health and wastewater monitoring. Their research on, and it's titled Community-Based SARS-CoV-2 Testing Using Saliva or Nasopharyngeal Swabs to Compare Efficacy of Weekly COVID-19 Screening to Wastewater SARS-CoV-2 Signals, has been awarded a very prestigious award. It won the first place for the Human Access and Equity Division Outstanding Research Award. It's a prestigious monetary research award that will be recognized formally at the American Association of Clinical Chemistry's annual event in Chicago in July. And their research journal manuscript is currently under peer review for publication consideration with the American Chemical Society Environmental Science and Technology for Water, the Vision and Inspiration Journal that's dedicated to water research and policy. It's an international multidiscipline journal that publishes novel, high impact, and peer-reviewed research. So it's very significant that their article is being considered for publication in that journal. And so it's just, I'm hoping that you'll join me in congratulating the team on their excellent work to advance the understanding of how wastewater monitoring of infectious disease can benefit us in the protection of human health, even during a pandemic. And we're very proud of them in their work to advance this. So we're hoping to create a podcast that features Dr. Blythe Layton and the OHSU researcher to talk about what they did and the importance of this. So thank you.
Well, one of the things that Clean Water Services does so well is applying the science to our everyday lives, but highlighting that for our youth so that they have the opportunity to know that as they go through 80 years of adulting, right? Life is long, that they're learning in their elementary school days and onward that science is fun and science is really exciting. It's cool, right? So as you mentioned things like that, it's that youthful spark and energy that comes out of the 62-year-old geek that I am. And I hope that there are resources available to help Blythe and Ken and Scott, who are premier scientists, help bring the environment of the lab as well to life for the kids that we're trying to reach, and let them know that there is lifelong learning and lifelong fun in science, should they choose to keep studying math and science and doing well in their school years, that it really does pay off over many decades of their future lives. So thank you so very much. And yes, I think all three of us in attendance today are totally thumbs up in our supporting, communicating how proud we are of the team in doing that work, but also in publishing about this work and striving to have their work recognized through these awards as well. That's just great, just great. All righty. Board members, are there any other questions or comments you want to add today? We do have one letter that we need to consider, and it is a grant letter. Let me bring it up on my screen as well. And Clerk Moss, if there are folks that need to be advanced. This great term, infra. So it's a letter to the U.S. Department of Transportation, Secretary of Transportation, Peter Buttigieg, with regard to our potential support for the ODOT infra grant for the I-205 improvement project. Are there any questions, comments, or issues from the board on this letter? It looks like Commissioner Treese's thumbs up for supporting it. Commissioner Fye, we've lost your video. Your thumbs up. Okay, terrific. And I am as well. I see we have Mr. Roberts. Didn't mean to cut you off from any description. Is there anything you'd like to say?
No, I think it's pretty self-explanatory, and we appreciate your support. We think it's a really important project for the region, and this is a good opportunity for us to continue to show that support for this I-205 improvement.
Yes.
So thank you.
Yes, indeed. And it is a facility that is most impactful, or that's probably not the right way to put it, but is physically present towards the southerly part of the southerly eastern part of Washington County, especially the city of Tualatin, city of Wilsonville, that portion in Washington County, extending up the I-5 corridor to Tigard as well. So thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you.
All righty, so we have a few minutes before we will be we'll recess this work session for now until this afternoon. It looks like we have a start time of 1:15 later this afternoon versus 1 o'clock. So just wanted to highlight that for folks. And looks like we will convene at 10 o'clock for our Washington County Housing Authority Board of Directors meeting, followed by our Board of Commissioners meeting. Does anyone have anything? Oh, I forgot to ask if anybody had any questions on those agendas. I do that so often. Okay, then. Well, we'll pause our work session right here and see you on other meeting links. See ya.